Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Data Crunch Podcast. I'm Vadym, Growth Marketing Manager here at OWOX, and today we're diving into the essentials of marketing analytics with our Head of Marketing, Ievgen. How is it going, Ievgen?
Hey Vadym, I'm doing well, thanks. And I'm really looking forward to today's discussion because with marketing analytics, getting a few best practices right and avoiding common pitfalls can make all the difference. Having so many data points, data sources, Google Analytics, ad platforms, CRMs, corporate storages, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, but a structured approach is a key.
Absolutely, and I think everyone listening has probably felt a little lost in the data at some point. So let's jump right in. Where should we start, Ievgen?
Let's start with the foundation, setting clear goals, or SMART goals. Not clever, but actually using a framework for defining goals and objectives. SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. Now, the reason these 5 elements are so important is that they create a clear target. Without them, it's easy to get caught up in tracking irrelevant data points. A SMART goal would look more like increase the website traffic from Google search by 20% by the end of Q4. It's specific. It gives you a way to measure success, and it has a clear timeline. Just as in a real-life example, lose 20 pounds in 30 days.
I like that example. Yeah, that makes sense. So SMART goals give us that GPS destination for analytics, for our analytics, keeping us on track, right? So how do KPIs come into play here?
Exactly, Vadym. Once you have the SMART goals in place, the next step is to choose the right KPIs, or key performance indicators, to measure your progress towards these goals, in general and in time. Think of KPIs as the metrics that reflect your performance in relationship to your objectives. For example, if increasing the brand awareness is your goal, your KPIs could be metrics like impressions or reach. But if the goal is driving conversions, then KPI like the number of signups or purchases would be more relevant. And in this case, counting the number of impressions makes almost zero sense for you. Having the right KPIs in place keeps you focused on the metrics that impact your goals rather than getting distracted by flashy numbers that don't drive real results. If you want to learn more about how to define KPIs specific to your situation, we'll leave a very detailed video in the description of this podcast as well, so check it out.
Got it. So KPIs basically tell us if we are making progress toward our goals or if we need to make adjustments. Okay, what's the next after setting KPIs?
After KPIs, the next best practice is segmentation. And I'm talking here about 2 different types of segmentation. The first method is to segment your results by different dimensions. For example, if you are analyzing website traffic, you can have some custom channel grouping like organic traffic, paid, referral, affiliate, whatever. Maybe you need to segment it deeper than by Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, etc. Maybe by landing page. It really depends on your business. But then there is another way or another marketing tweak, the audience segmentation. And this is really important for delivering the right message at the right time in the right place. Basically, segmenting means dividing your audience into different groups based on things like demographics, buying habits, interests. This way you can make your message more relevant for each individual. For example, what catches a first-time visitor's attention is probably different from what works for a loyal customer. The more tailored your approach is, the better your engagements will be.
Interesting. So I guess we're moving from a one-size-fits-all strategy to something that feels much more customized and relevant to each audience group.
Exactly. In today's market, consumers expect very personalized experiences. Segmenting your audience allows you to speak directly to the needs of each group. For example, if you know a customer has already purchased a product, it's much more effective to send them information on complementary products rather than pushing the same initial offer again and again. And this approach not only improves engagement but also builds stronger relationships and trust. You better understand their pain points, their needs, etc.
That makes so much sense. Okay, so we've got our goals, KPIs, and segmentation. What's the next thing?
I think the next one is about integrating your data together to create a 360-degree view of your customers. This means consolidating data from various channels like web analytics tools like GA4. Probably you already have that data available in the storage, like you have already your GA4 BigQuery expert set up. I can't see any reasons for not doing that today. Then the advertising expenses, social media, email stats, sales from the CRM system. You need to use all that in the report, so the best first step is to consolidate that into any kind of a unified system. Just once again, like BigQuery or Snowflake.
Okay, Ievgen, could you please now tell us why this integration part is so necessary? Why can't we just consolidate stuff in Google Sheets?
Because otherwise, when your data is scattered and inconsistent, it's everywhere across different platforms. It's really challenging to see the full picture, to map the full analytics system end to end. But with an integrated system, you can track how users interact with your brand across multiple touchpoints. When you get all that data in one place, you can connect the dots between the ads and the conversions, between page views and the real sales, build attribution models by your rules. That all becomes only available when you get all of the data into one single system. You basically get that 360-degree view, which potentially gives you a much clearer picture of the entire customer experience, which is a must-have for making informed decisions. Data-informed decisions, yes.
Right. I guess it's like trying to solve a puzzle when half the pieces are missing. Yeah, I get that. Integration fills those gaps so you can get to see the full story.
Exactly. It's about collecting and preparing data. And this full view is incredibly powerful because it lets you identify patterns you wouldn't see otherwise. For instance, maybe you notice the customer who engage with certain types of social media content are more likely to make a purchase down the line. Having all that data in one place allows you to make those connections and optimize your strategy based on the real behavior.
That's really valuable and insightful. So now that we have this full customer view, what's our next best practice?
I would say the next big thing is attribution. I see most businesses, like 95% and more, really struggle with that. So what is attribution in marketing? It's all about finding out which channels and campaigns are really driving your results. No matter what the end of the funnel for you is, a scheduled call, a client, a placed order, whatever it is. Let's say you're running ads on Facebook, running email campaigns, then Google ads, and you have a lot of organic traffic. The attribution model lets you see which of this actually bringing in the most conversions. You can use different models like last click, first click, linear, U-shaped, evenly to understand each channel's impact. You can build it super relevant to your business model because each business is really unique. Building an attribution model actually helps you see where your budget is working hardest so you can make smarter decisions for future campaigns, future optimizations. And look, Google Analytics provides the data-driven attribution, but a lot of businesses can't really rely on it because it's a black box solution. They can trust it and prove that it's real, that it's how it should be done for their business.
All right, got it. So attribution is basically telling us which ingredients in the recipe make the dish taste so great. And speaking of impact, what about tracking conversions?
Well, accurately tracking conversions, whatever they are for your business, online, is the ultimate measure of effectiveness of analytics because it shows whether or not your strategy is achieving its end goals. For instance, if your goal is to generate leads, a conversion might be a form submission or a sign-up. If your goal is sales, the conversion could be an actual purchase. So tracking these conversions helps you see what's working and where you might need to refine your strategy. So you need to be tracking specifically what's in your KPI sheet. It's the best way to measure if you are truly hitting the mark.
Right, conversions are the final check. They tell us if we are on target or if there's room for improvement. What about deeper insights? Is there a way to go beyond just conversions?
Yes, I think there is one more best practice here. It's about building your analytics end to end. That's also known as the full funnel measurement. That would also allow you to connect the dots between actions and what's behind them. For example, you can identify not just who is converting, but why they are converting and what behaviors are leading up to it. What was on the banner? What's the color of the button? And basically which ad campaign 3 months ago generated this particular repeated order today. You can even use predictive analytics to get a sense of the future trends. And these insights are super valuable for fine-tuning your long-term strategy and staying one step ahead as the market changes, and ahead of all your competition as well.
That's fascinating. So full funnel analytics are like a magnifying glass, letting us zoom in on the details we might miss otherwise. All right, so what about the pitfalls? What are some common mistakes we should avoid?
Let's start with the most common pitfall in market analytics. It's about an incorrect tracking setup. So this is crucial because if your tracking isn't set up correctly from the start, your data will be inaccurate, and any insights you get, any time you spend on analytics, won't be reliable. A common example is a misconfigured Google Analytics account on the website, which can result in data discrepancies. Bad tracking leads to bad data and wrong decisions. So it's absolutely essential to verify that all of your tracking parameters are accurately set up and regularly tested to avoid issues down the line.
Yeah, I see. It's like setting out on a road trip without a broken GPS. You're bound to get lost. And what are the other pitfalls to watch out for?
Well, basically the pitfall number 2 is focusing too much on the vanity metrics. Not all of the metrics are created equally. So vanity metrics are those big numbers that look impressive, like impressions or page views, but typically they don't impact your business objectives, your core business objectives. So for example, having thousands of page views might seem great, but if those visitors are not converting or even engaging, it's just noise. So the key here is to focus on actionable metrics that reflect real progress towards your goals.
Right, it's easy to get distracted by big numbers, I get it. But unless they tie directly to your goals, they are just fluff. And what are the metrics to measure? Which ones would you recommend?
Well, there is no one-fit solution for every business. But there are two metrics that matters the most. It's CAC and LTV, so customer acquisition cost and the customer lifetime value. The end goal of every business is to make profit. So you should be analyzing how much is worth to acquire a new customer and how much revenue does he bring to your business over the period of relationship with it. Yes, that might be the COGS, sure, but basically the first thing to look at is to make sure your LTV is higher than your CAC.
Great, so the lesson is to focus only on actionable and important metrics. Okay, so what's coming next?
The next pitfall is ignoring data compliance. 2024. Privacy laws like GDPR and CCPA. Data compliance is no longer negotiable. Failing to comply can result in significant fines like Swedish Tele2 just did for over 1 million euro, and that might ruin your brand's reputation. Basically, they were just using GEA tracking incorrectly. So making sure you are collecting and storing data responsibly also builds trust with your audience and keeps you on the right side of the law.
That's an excellent point. I totally agree. Compliance is the foundation of user trust. And what about reporting? Are there any common mistakes there?
Yeah, creating overly detailed reports is the next one. When you overload reports with data, with more metrics, irrelevant dimensions, it's easy to lose sight of what's actually important for the business. Reports should be concise, focusing on key metrics that tell a clear story. A report that's filled with every possible data point can be overwhelming, and it will be overwhelming, especially for the stakeholders who may not be familiar with data. Aim for simplicity and clarity.
Absolutely. Too much detail can make it hard to pull out anything actionable. The best reports keep it clear and straightforward.
Yeah, and actually if you want to learn more about this, we have a full data analytics roadmap available as a video course on the OXBI YouTube channel. The final lesson is exactly about what's hot and what's not on the reporting side of things. That actually wraps up our top practices and pitfalls. Those are the best practices and pitfalls to keep in mind as you work on marketing analytics.
Thank you so much for the insights, Ievgen, and for everyone listening, if you're ready to take your analytics to the next level, check out OXBI Marketing Analytics Suite, linked below. You can get all the marketing reports you need in just 30 minutes or so. Actionable dashboards, all the data in one place, so you can get insights faster and make smarter decisions. Try it out with a free trial at ox.com or reach out to our incredible team to get help. And don't forget to subscribe for more episodes of the Data Crunch podcast.
Thanks, Vadym, for having me here today. Guys, I wish you stay data curious and keep exploring new possibilities your business data brings in. Catch you in the next episode.